What's up, everybody? We are live on the eve that we get to have Manchester United their ass yet again at Anfield tomorrow night. I'm delighted to say let's start that again. Delighted to say that I'm actually joined by Mr. Chris Stonage and Mr. Paddy Murphy. Feels like we've gotten the band back together after a little bit of a break, gents. It feels like a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, a week, isn't it? A week without you two, like, making my life better. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm so refreshed. It might be a correlation.
Yeah, Chris was telling me, Paddy, before we went live that they made sure that they went to the arsehole of nowhere when they went away for a few days, just to make sure they'd get away from us, basically.
It's understandable. It's understandable. It's very fair.
It is very fair. Ladies and gentlemen, look, tomorrow game going to be on YouTube. Again, people often ask me how you can watch the games from different parts of the world and how you can do this, that, and the other. You know where I'm going with this. VPN. You need a VPN, but you need a good VPN. You need a secure VPN. You need a affordable VPN. And Surfshark have got you covered on absolutely all of those things. You can get the world's best VPN provider in my eyes. You can get uncrackable encryption, the most secure VPN protocols, and 83% off and 3 months additional free by using the code Anfield Agenda at checkout or the link in the description. Yes, look, I'm sure you know what Surfshark is by this point. Don't take my word for it. Have a little look yourself. Check around other VPN providers and you will come back to Surfshark because they are the best in the business, right? Gentlemen, let's start off by passing on our sincere condolences to Cristiano Ronaldo and his family after the heartbreaking news about the passing of his son today. There's nothing else to say, gentlemen, other than, you know, you would not wish that on anybody. Your heart goes out to Cristiano and his missus and their family. Just incredibly sad, Chris.
Oh, it's grim. You, as we said, and we were sort of speaking about it before the stream, like, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. And Cristiano's far from that, but like, it's just you wouldn't want to go through that experience. I know, Craig, you've got kids, and going through that experience, I wouldn't even be able to think about it. And it is really sad, and I think there's going to be people who use it as a joke and stuff, and whereas dark humor sometimes might be funny, there's a time and a place. And I just would urge all of you, if you're going to go and wind up a Man United fan about this, then that's way too far and that's crossing the line. So yeah, it's just so sad. It's so sad. It transcends football. It transcends life. And I think all of us can reach out a hand of help, and hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that Chris has said there, Paddy. It's just a very incredibly sad time.
Absolutely. Obviously, I couldn't really have said it much better than you two. Yeah, it is really sad. It does put football into perspective, and you know, Jesus, even if your worst enemy did have something like this, you'd still feel terrible. So there is always going to be weirdos on Twitter that are going to say unsavory things. I would say just don't interact with them because that's what they want. Don't quote tweet them. Don't, you know, that's what they want. Just ignore it. You're always going to have pricks every walk of life, but obviously, yeah, everyone at Anfield Agenda and every Liverpool fan which passes on their condolences. It's terribly sad, and yeah, that's all you can say, really.
It is. There's a lot for us to unpack, gents. I mean, another busy week. Massive game tomorrow night, obviously, but we can't not talk about the FA Cup semi-final, Chris. I mean, myself and Paddy have had a little chance to chat about this, but for you, mate, did you get to watch it, actually?
I got to see, well, I was on a pedalo when it kicked off.
Oh, hello. Yes, pedalo boy.
Pedalo drinking homemade cider. It was incredible. You can drink drive in a pedalo, I've heard.
All we need now is for you to say you were in a caravan, mate.
Which cider, Chris? Which cider was it? Was it Cummins?
I'm not even going to go there because I've made a joke similar to that about, you know, Charles Dickens, his favorite one. But no. And I saw it was 2-0, and I thought, well, my dad messaged me and he was like, "This is unbelievable," and I was like, "This is complete bollocks. There's no way this has happened." Then got to see it in a pub after about 40 minutes, and that's timely when Sadio scored his second one. And yeah, I just thought, I'm watching the game back. I watch it in full because I do that after every game. It's really quite sad. I thought we were absolutely excellent.
Yeah, it was probably I agree with Klopp, actually, Paddy. It was one of the best 45 minutes of football I've seen from this team. It was sensational, and for me, again, that I know you believe this as well, but that's the midfield. That's the midfield going forward, surely.
Yeah, I agree. That first 45 was probably as good as it's been. It was just phenomenal, and arguably the job was done at half time. And we did take our foot off the pedal, but we done the damage enough in the first half to get away with it. And yeah, I just hope Klopp now realizes. I hope this confirms now that Naby Keita is a part of that midfield three. Luis Diaz should be a part of the front three always in the biggest games. And yeah, we are now into another final. It's against Chelsea. Was hoping it would have been Palace to have a guaranteed victory. Chelsea will be tougher for sure. But we haven't beaten them actually in 90 minutes in 3 games, 2 draws and 3 draws, and then obviously we won one of them on pens. So I'm not going to be too cocky. I have already said we are going to beat them, but it is what it is. We are better than them, so we should be beating them.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice moment to get past City. Now, look, I knew City would come back into the game a little bit in the second half. They have quality about them. You expect a response from them. But yeah, it's nice that it's still on, Chris. The Paddy Murphy inspired quadruple is still on.
I'll tell you what, if it happens, Paddy, you had stocks when we hadn't even won the Carabao Cup, and he was screaming the quad train down. We're midway through April. Yes, we got some important games in the next week or so, but it's still very much on. We're coming into the final month of the season, and the quadruple is still on. I'm still very tentative about it and saying that I don't think it will happen, but as every week passes by, the percentage in my bar is gaining. It's unbelievable. But then the little birdie in my head says we could finish second in the league and losing a final and a semi-final, and that would be gutting. But yeah, look, we can't let that define the season. It's been unbelievable, and hopefully we bring 4 trophies home.
I'll tell you what, Paddy, the world ain't ready for a quadruple and Liverpool signing Jude Bellingham. They're not ready for what me and you have got to bring to the table when this happens, mate.
Well, I mean, never mind Bellingham. If Liverpool win the quadruple, we'll never shut up, ever. We've completed football. Nobody will ever capitulate that. Any argument rival fans have, we will be like, quadruple, finished argument, goodbye, good night. So that is going to be tasty. Listen, I've been saying quad. It's in our hands in 2 of the competitions. The Premier League, we still need a favour. And let's just hope we get one.
I want to agree with this as well from Chaos Jokers. Thank you for the super chat. Every game is absolutely a final for us now. And with that in mind, gents, let's have a little look ahead to what we'd like to see from the boys and Kloppo tomorrow. For shits and giggles, let's throw together a combined 11. Now, I did this earlier on, impromptu, earlier on my stream, and I want to see if I can get a consensus or if you maybe think differently. So let's have a bash at it. Probably the biggest argument would be around the goalkeeper situation. Because, well, if you had to put up any type of a fight for the other side, Chris, I mean, De Gea is probably the best chance they have. Maybe one more, but look, I still think it's Alisson. Would we agree?
Yeah.
It's not even a debate. For me, they're levels apart. I don't know why United fans try to force a narrative. De Gea is an excellent goalkeeper as a shot stopper, but Alisson's got so much more about him and his all around game. There's no comparison for me whatsoever. I
put it to you as well, Paddy Murphy, that I want all of our backline, all of them, and I don't care about Varane. He's living off memory. He's living off his Real Madrid days. Just to be fair, because he's played more games, I went with Matip. Because he's played more games this season at centre-back. So I went with Matip, Van Dijk, and our 2 full-backs.
In this squad, there's 2 debates to be had. The first debate is Matip or Konate. And the second debate is who plays through the middle, Jota or Mane. It's all Liverpool. No United fan in this world is delusional enough. They keep trying to shoehorn Ronaldo in there, but nah, man.
I actually shoehorned Mr. Mona, the referee, in there. I actually found a way to get Bruno Fernandes in.
Never. I see. No, fair shout. For me, he's probably United's best case, but nah. Midfield 3 is NFT.
I don't think you can not have Bruno in there. I will be fair. I think he'd be the only one I'd put in.
I went with Thiago, Fabinho, Bruno. That was the three I went with.
What I would do as well. I mean, there's no other case for any player, in my opinion. That's literally it.
I wasn't even entertaining the shouts for Ronaldo through the centre. I was getting some of those as well. And I said, no, it has to be Diaz, Salah, Mane. That's my 3 forwards, no argument. And even
And
the
you
fact
can
that Diaz only here a wet day, I still don't care. Still better than that, and they have to offer.
And you can probably put Jota in there as well. Best Portuguese player in the league.
Yeah, Paddy's kind of got me looking at Jota a little bit differently these days. I've been kind of keeping an eye on what Paddy
weird
said.
slander, man. It's so weird.
Taking the goal scoring out of it. I know, but we're doing it with Ronaldo. To be fair, we're doing it with Ronaldo because if you're going off goal tallies, Ronaldo has to be in that team. He scored 20 goals.
I just think Jota's becoming underrated now. Like,
but isn't that a good thing? Is not. Oh, I would say underrated is far better. I was so happy when Bobby was underrated for years.
I just look at it and I'm just like, Diogo Jota's got 20 goals this season, and yet people are finding a way to call him like to say that he doesn't have an impact. When Salah, Mane went away, Jota really stepped up.
By the way, I love we're arguing about our own players in this combined.
It's like how we can. It's so fickle. It's fickle to say that he's not, one of the best strikers in the league, because he is. It's there on the tin. Maybe his hold-up play is not quite Bobby Firmino, but that isn't Diogo Jota. They're different players, and I think a lot of people want him to be Bobby Firmino, and he's not.
So do we look at him then? Do we measure Diogo Jota as a 9 then? Like, is that how we're going to measure him? Are we kind of, I won't say twisted, but are we so used to not having a 9 since the Torres Suarez days? Really, Divock was there, of course, but are we so used to maybe looking at our centre forward a little bit differently and not maybe just even making excuses for why we don't measure Firmino in goals? Are we now looking at Jota differently? Because I'd have to say I'm probably guilty of that, of looking at him not just from goals.
I suppose it's a difficult one because we always it's like we're judging him and Bobby off the same hymn sheet. You can't, like, they're two totally different players, and we have to temper our own expectations. We can't have a scale for every single player in the comparisons because they all bring something so different. Horses for courses. If you have a game against a low block, one player you want in there is Diogo Jota, because if there's a chance, he's going to probably put it away. Bobby Firmino against the bigger teams, in my opinion, would be my choice because he would help to drag defenders out. And then you can't judge them because they're playing different levels of opponents. So yeah, it's just amazing how we're having this unbelievable amount of options, isn't it?
Here's one for you, Mr. Murphy. Do you think if we win the quadruple, Mane has to win the Ballon d'Or because he would have had 4 club trophies, the AFCON, and send his team to the World Cup?
No, I like the idea of it. I think certainly he'd be in the top 5 regardless, because I think he'd have to be. But if you're nominating a Liverpool player based off that, I think you're looking at a Virgil van Dijk ahead of a Sadio Mane. I think it's always about goals. I think you're looking at a Thiago Alcantara if Liverpool win the quadruple as well. He's been so good. He's definitely up there. I don't think Mane would win it, but he's been really, really good. But yeah, African Player of the Year for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame that Salah's trailed off, so his Ballon d'Or hopes are kind of shot unless he goes on a mad one. But yeah, it's a Mane, definitely top 5, I think.
What worries me again would be what happened to us the last time, Chris, that our vote was split, because last time we had Salah, we had Mane, and we had Van Dijk, so we had that vote split, and then none of our boys won the Ballon d'Or, and somehow Messi ended up with another one.
Yeah, well, what happened there?
I dropped my inhaler. I was twiddling it in my hand and I dropped it.
Surely it would be recognised as utter corruption if Messi won it again. Like, no, I can't.
No. God, Jesus, he can't even score a league on at this point, mate. Just you can't give him another one.
If Messi or Ronaldo win it, like it just confirms everything we all know. But I don't know if they're judging it off trophies nowadays, because they say they're changing the criteria of their judging to individual performance.
What always stood out to me is the fact that Messi won that Ballon d'Or and robbed it off Van Dijk when he had worse stats than the previous season when he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. So worse stats the following season, give the man a Ballon d'Or. Better stats the season before, no Ballon d'Or. I don't get it.
Yeah. But the thing is, and that's probably the biggest compliment we can give this team, there's probably 6 of them that deserve a Ballon d'Or. So there's no... it's such a collective. We're not reliant on an individual, and that's why this team is so good and so cohesive.
I posed myself a question the other night. I often like to challenge my perceptions of things and how I look at football, and especially with our guys. And I asked myself a question, and I'd like to address it to the chat and to you guys as well. And it's me doing exactly what I hate other people doing to me. But if you had to lose Alisson, Van Dijk, or Salah, I say Salah because he's the most prolific of our forwards. So
Salah.
What one of the three would you lose?
Salah.
Same.
I think I would only do that because I think world-class forwards are easier to find than world-class goalkeepers and defenders.
Exactly.
And it's not because Salah's worth any less. I just think the fact that there are a fewer commodities of Alissons and Van Dijks.
Listen, we haven't had Salah the last few months anyway.
Well, no, but then if you put it at the start of the season, if it wasn't for Salah, we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah.
So,
no, listen. Yeah, out of them three, it's Salah, but he's still very important. But I think, as you said, we've had enough challenges trying to find the goalkeeper, and same with the centre back. And Van Dijk is the best centre back in the world. Salah isn't the best in right wing in the world at the moment. So,
I just want to bring this up really quickly. Thank you, Liz. I hope the surgery goes well and everything is good. And I hope to see you ASAP in the chat. And
that's freaking normal scores for you, Liz. That's all we need.
Yeah, so on that, look, it's not a matter of not rating Salah either. Again, what you guys said is exactly what my train of thought was. I just remember not having that spine of a team, not having the keeper, not having the centre back, and that being what let us down. So yeah, I was just interested to see how everybody thought about it, because again, look, it's a situation we hope doesn't come into fruition at all. And on that kind of leads me into maybe a bit of good news. So Anfield Buzz, I think, is where Connor took this from on Twitter, and they quote Football Insider as their story that say Sadio Mane is set to be offered a new contract to extend his stay at Liverpool. Now, what I will say is, damn right, I think he should get offered a new deal. I've been very vocal about that in recent months, saying I think I'd actually like all of the old guard front three to be given new deals. But what my next question is, Paddy, is when they say he's been offered a new deal, is he being offered a new deal, or are the club ticking a box to say that they offered him a new deal? If you got what I'm coming from, is he being given proper wage, or is it, well, we offered?
Yeah, I mean, just to pick up on Dan's point, Paddy would keep Luis Diaz over Salah right now. It's a bit of a sticky situation. I don't know. I don't
come
know.
On,
I do love Diaz.
Paddy, come on. Please.
Well, if you're saying right now, yeah, but I would have to have.
He could be the. Come on.
I mean, I would have to have more respect for Salah, and I would pick him. But right now, there's a better form player there. But listen, yeah, I think he will be offered one. I think he's kind of been reborn through the middle.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he? He's been brilliant through the middle.
His form on the left waned a lot. He wasn't the man he once was. He stopped taking on people. But he's through the middle. He's been reborn, absolutely. So yeah, I hope he does get offered a new deal.
And I just say, Chris, what a masterstroke from Jurgen Klopp yet again. We bring in Diaz, and we're all thinking straight away: Diaz plays left, Mane plays left. How's this going to work? Are we looking at his replacement? And Klopp would just eases Mane in centrally, and then we see, as Paddy said, a revitalised Sadio. Diaz turned it up on the left. I mean, I love that front three so much, Chris. It's brilliant.
It's the best I've seen Sadio Mane play probably since the title-winning season, which I suppose is only a season and a half ago. But he has been electric since he's gone down the middle. It's because he's not having to take players on, because he doesn't do that so much anymore, because he's not quite as fast as he was. Not saying he's not fast, because he still is. But it just seems like he's improved a lot as a footballer as well. Because it used to be, when we first signed Sadio, it was quite an inconsistent, pacey forward, run past players. But then he's developed technically, which I think is so important to this Liverpool team. So yeah, to have him, Jota and Bobby as options through the middle, even Mo if we needed, and probably Diaz floats in there all the time. Like, they're also rotating, and they're very versatile. It's just a brilliant situation to be in, isn't it?
So let me pitch an idea to you guys and see what you think. So we know Salah's been offered a new deal. We hope he signs it. This is encouraging news around Sadio Mane, and hopefully he signs a new deal. Would we all be okay if we didn't sign any more forwards? We re-signed Mane, we re-signed Salah. Bobby left next year after his contract runs down. Carvalho's come in. We don't know, very promising, but, never any guarantees. Would we be okay if the club didn't replace a forward, but Carvalho kind of came in and then Firmino left after one more year and the two boys signed new deals? Because, again, I think that would be decent squad management.
What do you reckon, Paddy?
Yeah, I think we could manage in that sense. It's going to be hard.
Gord, we're unsure of. Musialowski still might come through. So there are other options there as well.
I do really enjoy the depth we have now. I really do enjoy the quality of depth also. You do have to take a chance with youngsters at times. But I don't think there's any rush. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I would be happy with that, but I'm trying to keep on the lads as much as we can,
Yeah, don't worry, I got that comment, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of wondering what way the recruitment is going to be, Chris, because I see 3 tiers of Liverpool players. So I've got the older players, 29, 30, then the Jota, the Luis Diaz, the 25-year-old bracket, and then, of course, the younger guys coming through. And I guess I'm trying to just stagger the production line as well in my head. And I think I'd be okay with that. I'd be very, very happy if we ended this season and heard that Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah had signed new deals, because I truly believe they both have a lot left to offer this team.
Yeah, and I think age, I don't know whether it's the modern footballers now, they just seem like they can play for a lot longer at the very top level. You're seeing Karim Benzema reborn into probably one of the best players in world football at the age of 34. Luka Modric is unbelievable, one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder in the world at the moment at 36. The 30 bracket, I think, has damaged our brains, because on FIFA they start getting worse when they're 30. And on Football Manager as well. That's not how it works. Some of these players are getting better and improving. I'd argue that Sadio Mane is improving and getting better. And if we see Sadio Mane getting better, then of course we give him a new deal. And Mo Salah scoring God knows how many goals a season, so why wouldn't you? So, yeah, I think I don't see us selling any forwards in the summer, but we might let Bobby run out his deal. That's what I think will happen.
Another thing, Paddy, I kind of reason I brought this up is just to show again that we talk about football being cyclical with regards to who's successful and who isn't. It's the same with players' form, mate. It wasn't 2-3 months ago that all of us as a collective, as a fan base, were discussing Sadio's form and how he hadn't been up to his best and how he looked maybe a bit stale or jaded. But then he's been moved centrally and he's got Diaz to his left, Salah to his right, and he looks like a different player. So I suppose maybe just a little show for patience for Mo as well, just to see that he's still class, but he's just going through a little bit of a sticky patch.
Yeah, listen, unfortunately, football is a very fickle sport. It's a very, it's very form-based, it's results-based. So people do get frustrated regardless of what people have done in the past. I'm one of them, one of the main people at that. Salah was Ballon d'Or chase not so long ago, and now he's in a bit of rough form. We do all hope he gets back to it. I'm sure he will. But there's nothing wrong with registering your discontent. If you didn't, you'd be a fake fan. There's no point in pretending like he hasn't been poor. Mane was poor. I called him out, and now he's kind of gone into a good vein of form. And I can't wait until Salah starts banging them in again. And hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it is. There's one other thing I wanted to speak about. I keep saying there's one other thing. There's fucking loads of other things, spoiler. But here's one that just popped into my head. So tomorrow we play Manchester United. Look, we all want to win that for obvious reasons. But another big incentive, Chris, to win this game is that we play before Manchester City. And we might not be in control of our own destiny, but we can certainly be in control of putting the pressure back on their shoulders ahead of the game against Brighton.
100% psychological advantage. it's huge. They see Liverpool on the top of that table. That's the one thing Manchester City and Pep Guardiola do not want to see come the end of the season. So, yeah, of course they will. And I saw Adam Lallana come out with some fighting talk today, saying that he hopes he gets a win against for Liverpool, because he's obviously now a Liverpool fan. Because, but yeah, I don't back it, but yeah, psychological advantage is so important.
What about yourself, Paddy? Would you agree?
Yeah, it'll put a bit of pressure on them, but I don't think City are going to struggle against Brighton. Do you know what I mean?
2 wins in North London in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that's not Manchester Blue, is it?
No,
I don't think there's any hope whatsoever. Brighton are shit.
They're pretty shit.
They can't score.
Really. Like, they can't. I mean,
no, they can't score goals. They can't score goals, and they have no Basuma either. Listen, I'm hanging my hat on other teams, but Brighton aren't one of them. But listen, it is what it is. It's torturous looking at City and wanting them to drop points, but they definitely aren't as infallible as they once were in the Centurion season, in the 99-point season or whatever. So they can be got at. If KDB's still out, you never know.
Do we agree with the psychological aspect, though? You have to take these opportunities to put any pressure you can back on them, even if they say they won't hear it. They won't like seeing Liverpool's name on top of the league table. They just won't. That's surely true.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think they'll really give a shit about the psychological advantage. I mean, it's just getting every single 3 points we can, to be honest. I understand what you're saying. It is important, to scare them a little bit, I suppose, and maybe gain a couple of percent in the favor of Brighton. But I think it's just getting every single 3 points we can and seeing where we end up.
Well, we know we've got a maximum of 11 games left in this campaign to play if everything goes to plan. Tomorrow night, Paddy, against United, I think we're all fairly certain we'll see a victory, but I don't expect it to be as easy as it was at Old Trafford.
I do. I expect it to be easier. 6-0.
Okie dokie. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm very much hoping that you're right and I'm wrong. Very, very much so. I just think that even as a collection of prima donnas, Chris, they have to have enough about them to at least put up a bit of a fight tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they will do. I was having a chat to my dad about this earlier, and I said, I feel more confident about winning this football game against Manchester United than I ever have as a Liverpool fan against Manchester United. Like, I am so confident, but that is when you're most vulnerable. We can't discount them. I understand why and how you can, because shit, but that doesn't mean that in 90 minutes, 11v11, they won't turn up and make life difficult for us. I'm so confident that I'm nervous. Is that an oxymoron? Because it's
yeah,
like
no, I get where you're coming from, Chris. That's kind of how I feel as well. It wouldn't surprise me if we beat them 3 or 4-0. Absolutely not. But I just think maybe I'm giving them too much credit here. But Jesus to God, surely they'll go and put up a fight tomorrow. Like, surely they can't just roll over and have their bellies tickle like they did at their own gaff. Because I think it's fair to say, Paddy, we took our foot off the gas at Old Trafford. That could have been 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I know we did. I was annoyed as well. I'd listen. People will say, "Oh, you never know. United could do this. United could do that." No, well, we're winning no matter what, and it's going to be a Jack Gill 6-0.
Here's a super chat that I know you'll agree with. And Diaz, the most exciting player without scoring I've ever watched. Against Benfica and City, Bobby and Mane scored 2, but Diaz was man of the match for both. There is some players that you just move to the edge of your seat instinctively when the ball comes to them. And he is one of them. But I tell you what, I also get the feeling that we are going to have a lot of the Bobby Firminos about him. And by that, I mean, there will be a lot of frustration at times as well with stuff that doesn't come off. But the payoff for the stuff that does come off will be just too good not to celebrate it. So yeah, I would agree that he's the most exciting player I've seen put on a Liverpool shirt. Immediately impacts into Luis Suarez. When I'm talking about signings, because obviously Gerrard came through, but Suarez, I knew the second he stepped on the pitch, the first 5 minutes watching Suarez for Liverpool, I knew what I was looking at. I knew I was looking at an absolute savage. And I think the same with this gentleman, Luis Diaz. He has the it factor.
I think Van Dijk probably has an argument there.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of dapper, suave, cool son of a bitch, could wear a bow tie running around the pitch and still look marvelous. Van Dijk's just different. Like, he's not built like the rest of us human beings that have to physically exert ourselves. He just glides and gallops his way through games.
Aesthetically, I 100% understand what you're saying. Like Diaz, there was no bedding in period. He just got straight in and he looked like he'd been a Liverpool player for the last 5 years. He's so exciting to watch. He's so pleasing to watch. Like, look, I want him to, the next step for him is to start adding more goals to his game. But yeah, he's just incredible. I love him. And he makes so much room for everyone else. He can beat a man so easily. He's got sort of dribbling feet, which I don't think any of our front three really have got. And that, again, adds to the dynamic we were talking about earlier, which they all add such different qualities.
Absolutely. He's top notch. And I watched last night, I actually watched Sporting against Benfica. Darwin Núñez scored again. But I have to say, I'm convinced on him as well now, Paddy. I'm convinced on Núñez. I don't think we'll get him, but I am. He's a real player. He definitely is a real player.
Yeah, funny story. The day of the game, I was in the team hotel trying to cop a sign in the Klopp in the lobby, and I was sitting beside literally the Benfica officials, like proper officials, all suited and booted. And I was like, oh yeah. Darwin Núñez audition tonight. Liverpool are going to buy him. And the guy goes, 130 million euro and he is yours. So they're pretty set on 130 million euro.
Yeah, see, that's where the fun comes to an end for us, because we're not going to pay that money. But there's a lot to like about this kid, Chris. There is, like, he still needs to get up off the ground and stop at the antics a little bit, but there is defo a real player in there. He's a fighter. He's got that Uruguayan streak in him.
Yeah. I'm just having a look. How long's left in his deal? How long's left in his contract?
No idea.
They paid 24 million for him. It's until 2025. So
who's he signed him from, actually?
From Christ, Almeria
In Spain.
Yeah, in the second division.
Wow.
They paid 24 million for him, which is quite unbelievable. But yeah, and Almeria are going to get 20% of the future transfer fee. So if that's 113 million, then blimey. But yeah, he's a cracking little player. I feel
like Chris, he could save the £100 million hairband bracket from Jack Grealish. He could come in and save that bracket, give some integrity back to it.
Yeah, to be fair.
I just realised.
Go on.
One of the guys I met was your man, Samel.
Samel Sabrosa.
Yeah.
One of the players I wanted to sign for us that didn't happen so much. Like, he was on the plane at one point.
He was really heavily linked, wasn't he?
He was on the plane at one point, I believe, on his way to come over, like ready on the tarmac. And Benfica just wouldn't let him go. But yeah, I wanted him so badly at one point.
I knew he looked like a footballer as well, but I was like, I didn't know him. Yeah, he's apparently the director of international relations. So that makes sense. Checks out.
Blimey. Happy days.
Yeah, he was a quality footballer.
Yeah.
But we got Maxi Rodriguez in the end, so it's fine.
Maxi Rodriguez.
Again, I loved him as well. Loved that.
I look back fondly at him, but at the time he was so frustrating.
He was another Luis Garcia. That's the way I look at him. Another kind of player that will get you off the edge of your seat, but you'd also want to smash the TV sometimes.
Yeah.
Here's a super chat. Thank you, Rick, for your super chat. Brighton are dark horse. They won at Arsenal. Spurs drew against Chelsea. Got a 2-2 draw at Anfield. I wouldn't write them off. I think it's their style of football for me, I think, is what Paddy's getting at, that I think they'll just play into Man City's hands. They're not one that I can see putting in a great defensive masterclass. The kind of Graham Potter's teams tend to come and have a go, and I think they're not strong enough in attack to really match City.
You need a Sanchez masterclass.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's a decent keeper, actually. He's decent, and they've got Lamptey.
That should be someone United look at. He's great with his feet. He'd be a great replacement for David the Fraud.
Today is a quality keeper. I mean, come on, lads. Let's be fair. I was shocked at the start. I was shocked at the start by Chris, especially.
But he's not
that level. Like,
he's a great saver of a ball. Well done, but he can't pass it. He's not a distributing keeper, and you have to be nowadays. That's what Man United. the amount of chances we create from Alisson's passes, like it's unreal. Like, and as well, it's about the high line as well. How many chances we create from winning the ball back high. I just don't think De Gea could play in a system in modern football in like a real top team, if I'm being honest. But you know.
I really like him. I do. I've always liked De Gea. I think he's a marvelous keeper.
By the way, Brighton's record since coming up that's from the Championship against Man City will exclude they've lost every single game apart from last season after Man City had won the league. So, and they've scored 6 goals in 4 years. So, yeah, I think we'd be clutching at straws.
Got to keep clutching at the straws, though. Got to. Actually, looking ahead to our opponents, you guys see Moreno went off from Villarreal over the weekend as well.
Alberto,
no, the good one.
Gerard Moreno.
So apparently it's a hamstring injury, and not sure yet if he's completely ruled out of the game against us. But I did watch him when he went off, and he went straight to the bench. He didn't go down the tunnel or anything. But there's an article out that says he's certainly a worry for them ahead of a game against Villarreal, which is coming up quicker than we think, gents. It's
next
a week from Wednesday,
Final after final, isn't it? Every single game is massive.
Look, I kind of with Paddy on this. I mean, they did great. Let's give them credit now. But fuck me, we want to be beating Villarreal, lads. We just should.
Yeah, exactly. No, people love to say, "Oh, you never know." You fucking do know. We're gonna beat them. Like, fuck off. Like, honestly,
Paddy, if we lose, you're gonna look like an absolute knobhead.
No, I don't care.
We're not going to lose. See, I sometimes we get called out for shit, and sometimes 7-2s happen, but we have to look at this and go 7th or 8th or whatever they are in La Liga.
Yeah,
the Europa League team who've gone on a good run. We have to be beating them, lads. We do.
On paper, anything you ask Jurgen Klopp that question, and he'll say 11v11, anyone v anyone. It
could have to say that, man. He's the manager. He can't go, we're going to piss all over these shit cunts.
We could get the worst referee in the world, give Villarreal 2 random penalties at Anfield. They take a lead back, and then we draw over there. It could happen. We could miss all of our chances. Like, these players aren't robots at the end of the day.
I could wake up at a 12-inch knob tomorrow, Chris, but it ain't happening.
But these players aren't robots. Like, I do think it's.
I mean, I'd be fucking distraught after losing 3 inches, but you know what I mean? See it happen.
I was going to say I saw that coming, but I realised that wasn't a good turn of phrase.
Oh, you'd see it. You'd see it.
Villarreal beat Bayern and Juventus. They're no joke. Like, Juventus are fucking shit, and Bayern are so overhyped. It's insane.
I got stick for that. I said all the way about as soon as the draw was made, we batter Bayern Munich if we get them. We rip them to shreds if we get them.
Yeah, we would have. We would. We would have. We're going to beat Villarreal, and Klopp in the press.
I think we'll win. I'm pretty sure we'll win, but there is a chance, a smidgen of a chance, that Villarreal will win.
They've got a touch of the Brightons about them, though. They don't score a lot of goals, so their only hope is really to keep it to a low-scoring game, and maybe pinch a couple of goals over 2 legs.
They had 2 shots on target against Bayern Munich. There was only end of the day, they deserve to win in the first leg, but I just think you can't say things are a foregone conclusion because they never are.
They're made up of it. They're made up of a team.
I give you 500 quid today.
500 quid.
Do you put any of that on Villarreal beat Liverpool in either of the legs?
I'd put a tenner on it.
Villarreal are made up of Spurs rejects. Lo Celso, Foyth, Aurier, they are not good.
They have a decent centre-back in Pau Torres, who's all right. Danjuma's a good footballer, no doubt about that. Gerard Moreno is okay.
We lost to Leicester earlier this season. We lost to West Ham. We drew with Brighton. These things happen. It's football.
Yeah, but Chris, that isn't the semi-final of a Champions League, mate, where Paris is on the horizon, where, untold dreams will be realised with the prospect of maybe stopping Manchester City lifting their first European Cup. I mean, again, Chris, we're fighting the good fight here. We're playing. This is where
I still think we'll win. I still think I'd be absolutely mortified if we lost, but there is still a chance. There's always a chance.
I think we'll all agree on this, definitely. We all agree. Stefan, what was he thinking, lads? Honest, what was he thinking? What? Oh, my Jesus. Even looking at the back, it's just... Ederson, you are not. Because, look, I would say that Ederson shoot was ice cold. That man, that was ridiculous. Oh, lad, I nearly had a stroke just watching him. That was ridiculous what Ederson did. But Stefan, what was he at? I think Roy Keane made a good point, actually. Once he doesn't move the ball out of his feet with his first touch, he's in trouble. Because the ball's still and he's having to shuffle his feet then.
Paddy?
Yeah. By the way, Media Centre, it's an FC Valhalla shirt. But yeah, no, listen. Yeah, poor Stefan. Bazunu is clear. So they should sack Stefan and recall Bazunu. But I don't want Gavin wasting his time on the bench. He's too good for that. So yeah, thanks to Zach Stefan for providing the laughs. I don't think he'll ever play for City again. Guardiola is going to cast him off somewhere.
It was very clever, by the way, Chris, how Sadio slid in for that one. You know, no chance of a foul being given against him. He was quite clever about how he did it.
It was always all eyes on the ball. There was no eyes on Zach Stefan at all, and it was a Karius moment. It might have been arguably worse than Karius's, but it won't get obviously the same coverage because it's not a Champions League final. But oh my goodness me, I feel sorry for all the Americans out there who have to deal with him as their first choice goalkeeper. Like,
they're all right.
Yeah, they got plenty of other things, but yeah, no, good goalkeepers. Not very full of those.
A couple of other little bits of news, I suppose. The club are in talks with a preliminary shirt sponsorship agreement or with another company because maybe Standard Chartered are looking to diversify elsewhere. Kind of just got me thinking about who it could be and what would look cool on the front of a Liverpool shirt. I mean, look, 40 million, I think, Chris, is the current deal that we get from Standard Chartered. There used to be 20, it's up to the 40. Do we really care who's on the front of the shirt, or is it a matter of who pays the most wage?
As long as it's not a betting sponsor, I then work away. But betting sponsors are tacky as fuck, and I wouldn't buy another top with it on.
And I think morally as well.
I don't think we could have a beer sponsor either.
Plus, I wouldn't want a betting sponsor for the sake of our Muslim players also. And that would rule out beer as well.
I think it'll be something like a digital crypto sort of thing, the sort of thing that Inter have got.
I tell you, fucking Andrew Legend, they'd look sweet across the front of that shirt, lads.
Yeah, imagine how much you'd have to pay.
Crosby'd be all right. He still has his communion money.
Yeah. No, I honestly don't care. As long as we benefit well financially from it, sure, whatever. And I think there was a couple of American companies. I think it's primarily going to be American anyway because the owners are. But yeah, hopefully it's record breaking because Man United's team viewer deal's 47 million a year.
I use team viewer every day, lads, and I look at it now and I just go, oh, a little bit of me dies. A little bit of me dies.
What is it, by the way?
Huh?
What even is it? I've never even.
It allows Connor to log into my computer remotely and do stuff. Very, very clever, very good, and it's really reliable and it's free. At least what we use it for is free. But yeah, when I seen that they were teaming up at United, a little bit of me died inside. Not enough to stop using it now, but
Starbucks.
Crown Paints, in the UK. They wouldn't have the wage. They wouldn't have the money to do it anymore. But
or just get Elon Musk to pay the money, but with no sponsor, and just have a little T on the back.
That would be nice. Diet Coke, I'd take that as well. That would do rather nicely.
Coke Zero, come on. Coca-Cola would look fucking sick on Liverpool's jersey. White out. It looks similar to the Carlsberg one. That'd be sick.
Nintendo would look pretty fucking slick as well.
One that looks good. Honestly, like it just, as I said, once it's not a betting sponsor or alcohol, and everyone can be.
But it can't be alcohol, and it can't be smoking cigarettes.
Is that a rule now?
Yeah, well, no, it's been a rule for ages. That's why Carlsberg got took off. You remember how Everton used to have Chang as well? Chang beer. That got taken off. Like it was about 2010. I want to say.
I thought I had recollections of that because, like you, immediately when you said beer sponsor, Everton came to mind because they had the
Coca-Cola would be perfect. It would look so good.
I think, have you ever looked at the old Fiorentina ones with the Nintendo on it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
love that as
insane.
well.
Insane.
On that, what do we think of the leaked home shirt? Connor's posted pictures of it, by the way, on our socials if you want to have a look on there. Gives me 2004, 2005 vibes, Chris.
Gives me training kit vibes. It's just so uninspiringly
It gives
bad.
me I wouldn't wipe me hole with it vibes. It's fucking shite.
It's a red shirt, and they're going to charge like 70, 80 quid, probably plus to buy it. Which
We know
is
you're
mental.
going to DH Gate though, Chris, so let's be
Oh,
honest.
absolutely, my boys. But no, like, it's just I don't get it. I don't like the collar. It stinks of, like, as you said, like a mid 2000s kit rather than a sort of more modern kit. I just don't get it. There's no like character to it whatsoever. It's just a red shirt.
Yeah, it looks like an Under Armour. It looks like it's. I like what they're trying to do, trying to keep it simple. It is simple. It's just very plain. There's nothing about it. There's no character to it.
This shirt is simple. It's white trimmings and cherry red, but it's one, if not the best
shirt, though, man. That shirt,
if not the best shirt of our Premier League era.
It's delicious. Was that the first year we got that color red as well? What's the name of that tone?
Blood red.
Cherry red, I think it's called.
I wouldn't wear it. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to buy that new kit.
Someone told me the exact name for the tone before. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, I love that color red. Absolutely love it.
It is the best kit we've had, and it's such a shame we lost in Kiev in this kit. It's gutted, man.
See, we used to have somebody that commented on our channel that had their username was the name of the color of that kit. It begins with P, I think, and it's doing me head in that I can't think of what it is.
Let me Google it.
Crimson red?
No, crimson isn't the
of red.
That's blood red, isn't it? Basically, crimson red, blood red's the same thing.
With P.
What is it?
Paranone?
No.
Don't know what that is.
Oh, Dan, lads, this is going to do my head in all night now till I think of this.
I'm on the. Is it Cardinal?
Why did I bring that up? Sorry. No, that doesn't ring a bell with me. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that's not.
I'm on the shades of red on Wikipedia, and I'm just trying to see which one's most like this.
Periwinkle. Periwinkle Bluma. Oh, Jesus. You know, as soon as this stream's over, it'll come straight into my head, and I'll just go bang. What the hell was it?
Not maroon. It's not maroon, is it?
No, it's not maroon. Maroon is like Aston Villa, West Ham.
I think it looks the most like Cardinal on this, but there we go. It's funny you say that, Salmon, by the way, because I got one other on the book.
Hughes?
No, Pepper Red.
Pepper Red? Is that red? Really? Where is it? Is it on here? It's not even. It's not even there.
It's not on your fucking Dulux charts there, Christoph.
It's not on there, mate. It's not on the Wikipedia, so it can't be real.
It's not on Wikipedia, so it can't be real.
Yeah,
FSG's scouting and evaluations are so accurate, they rattle Salah's confidence. He'll shake it off and come good soon. Yeah, I think they played a blinder, by the way, with regards to this negotiation. Let me say that straight out. I think when they drew their line in the sand and waited, they got lucky a little bit to some extent that maybe his form has slightly dipped off. But yeah, I think they played really, really well. Their hand really well here in this negotiation. We still wanted it done in December, though, lads.
Oh,
100%, yeah. But like, if it gets done at the numbers that they're comfortable with, and they've saved 6 months or 5 months of having to pay higher wages as well, that's it's not bad business. At the end of the day, once it's signed, we're all happy, really, regardless here.
Like, as long as it gets signed, obviously. But this is obviously making us nervous. We all want Mo to sign the deal, and as time ticks on, the less likely it gets. But maybe, maybe they knew this would happen all along. In Salah's Liverpool career, he's had a history of tailing off towards the end of seasons. So,
yeah, I said that on a stream as well. I don't know if I just made that up in my head or if it's statistically backed up. But
in his record Golden Boot season, He didn't score for 6 games towards the end of the season. And he broke the record in the end with a final day goal against Brighton. But even in his best seasons, it's happened. Apart from maybe last season. Last season, he improved on that side of things. But yeah, they've played a blinder, to be honest with you. They really have. If they manage to get this deal done.
Yeah, it's they've done well. They've done well. Look, I've been looking into this Super League revitalized Champions League stuff a little bit more over the past week. Well, I've had some more time. It's I think it's something we should be happy about as fans. By the way, I don't like this legacy shit in any way, shape, or form.
No.
It just feels like I think Sky had an article. They said one of the chairman or one of the higher ups in the Premier League clubs described it as Super League light, and I think we need to look at this a little bit more detail as well over the course of the next few months as fans, and I speak to all fans here when I say that, because one of the things we most disliked about the Super League was the lack of sporting merit in it and the lack of competitive edge. And I would say, Chris, that this is very similar. Even if it is only 2 places that are held for legacy clubs, you either earn or you don't, mate. I don't think a club like West Ham, Leicester, or maybe if you move abroad, maybe let's say Real Betis or somebody else, I don't think they should be denied a place in the Champions League because United or Liverpool. And by the way, Liverpool aren't even in the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, which absolutely astounded me that we aren't even in the top 10 of the coefficient. I think we're 14th. Something along those lines. I don't like it. It makes me angry that they're still trying to shoehorn this in.
I don't get it. I just surely you want to keep these things competitive. And what if a legacy team wins it? I don't think it's valid then. Surely, if say I don't know, it's unlikely, but say if Manchester United won the Champions League in some fathomable dream, like. They wouldn't have qualified for it. So how is it valid? It risks sporting integrity, to be honest with you. It's like, when you put water in your Ribena to make it less strong. Like that's what this is of the Super League. That's all I can say about it. It's just so filtered, but it's better than that, and that's why I think they did it, is to shock the football world. I don't think it was ever going to go through, but they've been able to then shoehorn this all in. It's grim.
It is. I don't like it one bit. Here's a question: do you miss the away goals rule in the Champions League? I was always all right with it being removed. As I said before, the only time it annoyed me was when it went to extra time. I felt it really unfair that the home team gets punished when it went to extra time, because if you concede a goal to the away team, then you've got to score 2. I always found that really unfair. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. What do we think, gents? Do we care it's gone? Do we miss it? Do we think it was the right decision? Is it making for more competitive games? Is it stopping the incentive to go away and score?
Yeah, I think it's been a good change. I think it's made the games more exciting. And it makes them easier to understand. I used to not know what the fuck was going on with away goals, but now it's nice and plain to see. And I think we've already seen the benefit of the rule being scrapped. So that's one good change they've made. I never was too fussed about it, and it certainly always favoured a team like Liverpool with such a great home support. But yeah, I think it was the best. It was a really good change, and we've seen the benefit of it already.
I can tell so easily when you two are reading comments. Chris read the comment about his hair, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah. I know I need a trim.
It's it's so easy to spot when someone's read one of the comments, because their facial expressions change. Anybody worried that we miss out on one of the 2 big trophies?
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. At the end of the day, it's not something to be worried about. We should be embracing the situation. We are in with a chance of winning both of them. It's not going to completely and utterly devastate me if we don't win it, because we'll still have had a successful season. But yeah, look, it'll be fine. I'm not worried. It's just enjoy the ride, boys.
Once we win one of the big 2, I'll be happy. If we don't win either of them, it's a failure of a season, no matter what way you look at it. Even if you win,
it felt like a big kick in the nuts at the end of the season if we don't see the Hendo shuffle for one of the 2 big ones. I have to say, even if we win the FA Cup, if we have to sit back and see City win a double, like the big double, like the two that you start the season wanting, I don't care what anybody says. That's gonna hurt if that happens. If that happens, and we hope it doesn't.
Yeah. No, it would be a real kick in the stones.
Here's something actually that I've wanted to give
XG
that for a long time. To me, XG is like solving a problem that doesn't exist. Fuck off with your XG. That's my point on XG. The ball either goes in the fucking net or it doesn't. I mean, this is where I go off on one with stats. I'm all for stats being used for certain things, but XG can kiss my ass. Honestly, it can fuck right off.
Craig, it's just a measurement, mate. I think the name of it.
It's an irrelevant measurement. Should have scored. Yeah, should have, but fucking didn't. So it doesn't matter.
It's not irrelevant, Craig, because it shows the quality of chances a team should and how many goals a team should have scored from those quality of chances.
But they didn't, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but then say for example, Luis Diaz has 5 shots from inside the box. He got next year of about 3.5. If he's only scored 2 goals, that shows he's underperforming. So
no, it doesn't. That's open to so much interpretation.
Well, because all the shots are taken into context. That's why it's such an amazing stat.
No, this is geeks ruining football again. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. This is people who've never set foot on a football pitch and are sitting in an office. No, I'm not having it. I have to stand up for football. I can see with my fucking eyes what's going on the football pitch because I've been around the sport for 30 years. I don't need some little arsehole sitting with a laptop telling me how many goals Luis Suarez or Luis Diaz or whoever should have scored. He either scores or he doesn't.
Are part of our scouting system, and XG is used.
I said it's you. I understand statistics have to be used in football, but it's just XG of all of them just seems the most fucking pointless stat of all. Oh, well, guess what, mate? You scored 1 today. Brilliant. Well done. We won 1-0, but you should have scored 2, you shit cunt. I just no, lads. Just no. Not for me.
It's because of the name. I think it's because of the name. They should change the name. But I think
it's good. It's a good analytical tool. It's a good analytical tool for scouting, things like that. But when people start using it as an excuse or as a propaganda tool for footballers, then it becomes annoying. Then I don't like it. But it's a cool little stat. But when people use it as a given and things like that, then it's like, oh, go away.
Chris, I'm just coming to terms with accepting assists. Just coming to terms with that.
It's a way to quantify how good a quality your chances are. Which is amazing.
Who cares?
Wait, don't even talk to you about expected threat.
But who cares how good they were? It's past tense. You've either scored or you haven't. If I go into halftime and the manager says, we had an XG of 2 there as we only scored 1, I don't care. I'm only concerned about the second half and how we score more goals. It's not going to say, well, you missed that shot, mate, and the computer said you should have scored it. Does that take into account the bobble, his shoelace being slightly undone, one of his studs being loose, the keeper making a noise at him? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You've either scored or you haven't.
Craig, do you want me to explain expected threat to you?
No, I absolutely don't.
Oh, it's an amazing stat, mate. It's incredible. It's basically like how like good, positive your actions are, and it's quantified. It's incredible.
The scoreboard does that for me. I look up and it tells us how many goals we've scored.
It's not like my nan.
I mean, I tell you what. So should we start using an XC on ours, an expected cuntiness from me and Paddy? Like, is Connor coming in going, Paddy, great show there, mate. You had an XC of 7. You only came out with 6 comments though, mate. So you underperformed there.
I thought it was an XC for Chris when he sees Ox. Expected coming to Jocks.
Well, that's a given. Do you know what I mean? That's happening. That's a fact.
I'm off the train now.
I'm glad we haven't seen him for a while, though. In all honesty, I'm sorry.
It says a lot, doesn't it, when Divock Origi's like pretty much confirmed to be leaving at the end of the season, and he's getting on ahead of Oxlade-Chamberlain. Like
I'll miss Div.
I'll miss
Div.
But yeah,
we're losing Big Div. We'll still have Big Div.
I just think he's being managed. Like Phil Foden's first couple of seasons for Man City, he was in and out. He had spells in, he had spells out. Curtis Jones had a spell out of the team. spell out the squad even at some points of this season, not just because of injury. Like even when he came back, he had spells not even in the squad. So I'm not worried. He's a kid. Like he's had a lot of shit on social media as well, which doesn't help. But he's getting eased in, and I think expectations need to be tempered because I think everyone thought he would be in our team every week from the start of this season. Maybe that was the plan, but he's still coming back from a big injury, and at that young age, he's still growing. He's still in a formative period of his life. So yeah, I'm not worried. I think Jurgen is managing him perfectly at the moment, really.
So Ella works in Dublin Airport. There you go. Ella reliably informing you, Chris, that Perry said that he could well be moving along. There we go.
Obrigado a Deus. Obrigado a Deus. Receba.
Oh God, I had something else I wanted to speak about there. We were talking about expected goals, expected cuntiness. There was one more point I wanted to bring up around our players.
Oh, Craig, will you answer that fella?
Who?
He's posted about 20 times.
I don't read the chat that much, mate. Unless the super chat pops up and the colour catches my eye. When yous are on, I don't really read the chat too much. Yeah. Which one is it?
It's funny.
Oh.
To be fair, he's been at that the whole of the stream. You got to reward the patience.
I don't think they are comparable. Completely different styles of football. So sometimes I watch the tiki-taka style that Xavi has Barcelona trying to play now and compare it like to what Pep did back in the day. And it was good, but it wasn't infallible. It can become boring. It can become monotonous, and it's awesomeness at times. It's too hypothetical for me. I watched Barcelona playing tonight, and that's what I remembered. That's what it was. It was about Barca. I watched Barcelona playing tonight and watched their movement again. And it's not really adaptable to real world life and football unless you have Lionel Messi in there and Xavi and Iniesta. So the style was only as good as the players that were there to execute it, and they were very good players who executed the style really well. But ultimately, what we play under Jurgen Klopp is a more responsive, emotional style of football, I would say. With tiki-taka football and the way that Pep has his team playing, he said he wants to win the ball back in 5 seconds after you lose it. There's certain things, but Klopp has tweaked it the way that we play, and it's very us. It's very Klopp. It's very emotional. So I prefer what we play, but a football purist would probably go the other way. On that, we're not signing Gavi, by the way, gents. He plays with his laces open. I'm not having it.
What?
He plays with his laces open. I heard Graham Hunter speaking about it today. I was watching the first half of the Barca game before I came on, and I seen his laces were open, and I thought, okay. But then Graham Hunter made a point of saying, yeah, no, he I don't know if Graham Hunter said he can't tie his laces, but he said about not knowing how to tie his laces or something like that. So yeah, we can't sign him. Tie his laces. I'm not having that. Not having players with open laces.
I couldn't tie my laces till I was about 14.
Same here. I was going to say I couldn't tie them until I was 16.
Yeah.
What I said to you two guys.
I couldn't wipe my arse until I was 25 either.
What I said to you two lads about me being a Pied Piper for something before the stream. You're proving my point here, lads.
It's in the staff as well.
Yeah, that is mad. Like, he plays with his 2 laces open. That is absolutely allowed. I thought referees stopped games for that.
Does he not tuck them in?
Nope.
Surely he'd fall over.
That's what I was thinking. But I watched 3-4 times when the camera went close. He plays with his laces wide open, both of them.
If I'm being honest, my mom used to tie them for me.
But that's mad, like.
And then when I went to play football, my manager would have done it. Anyone who'd do it, I'd be like, tie me laces there for me.
I mean, I won't lie. I did have a school tie for ages that my dad and mum would do once for me at the start of the year, and I just loosen it and pull it over my neck.
Yeah.
I had the good old primary school ones with the elastic on them. God bless them. They were brilliant.
Clip on, mate.
Yeah.
I never had ties in mine.
Oh, clip on. Oh, look, I'm just a posh boy here. Clip on.
I never had ties in my school because
you defo had a blazer at some point, though, didn't you?
No,
I mean at home. I don't mean at school.
I think it's blazing something.
What's a blazer?
What you're looking for there?
What's a blazer? Are you honestly asking me as a grown man what a blazer is, Chris?
I've never heard of it. I've got a jacket.
A suit jacket is a blazer.
Is that it? All right, yeah.
A bit more, yeah. Usually it's a little bit less formal.
I got a jacket. I've never called
I
it.
knew you would. You defo have one of them with a t-shirt underneath and a pair of jeans, skinny jeans going out. Don't you tell the truth, Chris?
Can't have skinny jeans anymore, mate. Maybe 3 years ago.
I can't keep up with you young fuckers. Like, I go out in a pair of bootcut tracksuit bottoms and I'm ridiculed by the whole estate. Like,
Boot cut tracksuit bottoms. What the fuck is that?
no cuffs, like the open hem bottom tracksuit bottoms. Like,
Ooh. No.
yeah, that's all I'm basically started doing is
Oh, that
like,
gives me the
going,
ick.
shame.
Yeah. I love wearing. Well, I was gonna say I love wearing tight trousers, but every fucking trousers I wear is tight.
Couple of quick super chats before we finish up. Klopp contract ends 2024. Will he go to Germany? I hope not.
9.
For me, that's the most important. He has to do the 10 years, lads. He has to do
Going to Portugal.
Yeah, he does love Portugal, to be fair, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I think they're guessing that maybe Hansi Flick will have served his time with Germany at that point.
I wouldn't mind that. Hansi Flick fancies, popping over to Anfield to replace Jurgen. It's all right.
Top of the league, looking.
But I think his new song might convince him to stay for a few more years.
Oh, he has to do 10. If he doesn't do 10, lads, the OCD tendencies part of me is going to be really annoyed if he doesn't do the 10 years. I mean, 9 years is just wrong on every level.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
It's just so, those GIFs or those videos of like unsatisfying things. Whoever started that trend should just fuck right off because you've wrecked my life.
Yeah. By the way,
it's like my banister, Craig. You remember that?
Oh my god! Yeah, have you smashed that yet?
I haven't smashed it, no, but I move out in a couple of months' time, so potential.
This has a banister with one spindle, completely different.
It's so annoying, and it's like in a weird place. It's like the third one from the end. It's
quick
so
one.
Annoying.
I have something for Chris to help his sex life. It's called
Paddy,
Vaseline.
you got a single one here, bro. Come on.
It helps heal dry lips, and no doubt your sex life has a lot of dry lips.
There you go.
Whoa!
I thought you were going to whip out Vagisil there for a second.
Yeah. It's on very slim foundation.
Mate, nobody fears United tomorrow. Mate, nobody.
Not even I'm not even.
The only people that fear United are United fans.
True. Do you remember that song, Crush? It's just a little crush, not like a faint. Remember that song?
No, we're not 50.
Might be before your time. So there was one of our friends who was stupid enough to tell us that his girlfriend had a bout of thrush at one point, and I was just singing "It's Just a Little Thrush" every day, over and over again, constantly, forever. And this poor girl, God bless her, was absolutely ridiculed by me just singing that song. She'd no idea that her boyfriend blabbed to us. And look, I'm not, these things happen. Of course they do, but don't be stupid enough to tell a group of lads this. Don't ever be stupid enough to tell your mates that. Gents, I think we're going to have to bring this to a close. And tomorrow, Chris, you are able to just enjoy the game yourself because Paddy's coming to my gaff with Connor. So we'll be doing our content in one piece together. Yeah. No video stuff.
I'll be at the game tomorrow, so.
Yes, I forgot. I knew you were going to the Everton game, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah, going to this game. But I will be recording a video after the game. So.
Better have hiccups. No hiccups. We don't want it.
Hiccups will be happening. I'll have to get one of my parents' phones because I've got a massive crack in mine. So
don't even talk to me. Ryanair owe me a back of my phone. Your man, where you scan your boarding pass?
Yeah.
He knocked it out of my hand and the back of my iPhone 12 Pro Max smashed. And I was
that was just had a cover on, holiday. What?
I was just boarding the plane to start my holiday when he smashed it.
Should have had a cover on, in fairness.
No, the ruins the aesthetic. I have a 1 year rule with a phone. Once I have it a year, cover comes off.
Fair
enough.
When you get a new one?
I can get an upgrade now, but I can't bring myself to pay for it because there's not enough difference between the 12 and 13 Pro Max.
I'll buy your old one off you.
I usually just give them the circuit, to be honest. She's slumming it now with an iPhone 13, a normal one.
Oh no, can't be doing
chilling with my Huawei here.
We love China. That's all I ever say. Connor had a Huawei at one point, and I was on edge every time he was in my house. Obviously, yeah, we love the supreme leader.
You can't say anything, mate.
Can't say anything. Look, let's leave that there. Paddy, did you book your flights yet for the Everton game?
The way over, yeah. I don't see. I
You
want to
getting
be able
on
to
the
go
pedalo with
over and
Chris to
come
get back?
Huh?
You getting on the pedalo with Chris to come back?
No, I think it's a Friday, but I didn't want to go on a Friday. But there's no accommodation in the city. Everywhere is booked up. I've been DMing the hotels and Liverpool hoarding myself out, but no one's biting.
I guarantee you, one social media post and you'll get 4 offers of a room. I've got loads of them over the years from really sound people that watch the channel that have offered up rooms to us if we've gone over.
Well, if
say.
anyone's watching, I want to sponsor a room for a couple of nights. So I would appreciate.
What's the story with your bird giving out slaps and nightclubs and all now? What's the story with that? Caught a little bit of that Astrid's lady fight.
Listen, they just need I reckon they just need to settle it with a finger off.
What have I just said?
Whoever squirts first wins.
Oh my god. End the stream. End it.
I don't know where to go.
This is what happens when you go 10 minutes over. I get delirious.
There we go. Anywho, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow with Mr. Murphy. We will be live. Myself, Connor. I'm still humming and hawing about whether Connor should be on screen for it or not, but we'll be live tomorrow anyway. Lots of stuff coming up. Thank you to our sponsors, Surfshark, where you can use VPNs to find the type of content Paddy was speaking about there yourselves and block your browser history and whatnot. Thank you to our friends at Surfshark. Thank you to Paddy for this. I get to look at Chris's brain just melting now, which is beautiful. And yeah, to all of you guys, appreciate it. Do hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.